Hey everybody, Sabaidi, Satu. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today I'm gonna go over making another food video. It's gonna be stuffed mushrooms, plant-based here. So the ingredients I'm gonna use are good old white button mushrooms, basically portobello, but just a different phase in mushroom life. I still have the leftover TVP that I made from my last video of the lop. I have cheese. The Daiya is actually really good. I'm gonna use cheddar, the cheddar flavor, so I just dice it up and then all the good stuff there. And then I'm gonna add a little something different and use celery. So I'm gonna do that, and something to bind it or just make it filling is I'm gonna use some Ritz Bits crackers. That gives it its the breading part. I'm also going to kind of give it a little bit of buttery taste, and I'm gonna use this popping butter flavor, but it's basically soybean oil. And has a fake flavoring and beta carotene for color, so gives it a little bit of butteriness. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of that, and like I said, I don't really like to cook with a lot of butter, but I'm basically gonna do that. So the premise of this is to take out the stems of the stuffed mushrooms. I like to cut the base of the mushroom, well, not the base, but like the top of the mushrooms, and make it flat, so that way when I put it on a pan it doesn't go anywhere. The smaller the mushrooms, the harder it is. It kind of wobbles all over the place, but I got bigger ones and I didn't realize that they actually sit pretty damn well, but it gives it more of the filling anyway, because I'm using the mushroom itself to fill. So I made a very thin slice, and this part here will be the flat part that I put on my pan. And the pan is going to go in at about 425. I like to cook it very quick because there's no real meat and it's already all set, so it'll just cook very quickly. So I'm going to use the parts of the mushrooms as the filling as well as a TVP, and I'm going to also use part of the filling to be the celery, the cheese, and the Ritz Bits crackers. Okay, so I'm going to do all that stuff there. So in real time, I'm going to be dicing up the mushrooms. And it should match to about the same size as the kernels of the TVP. So, and that little noise is just my air freshener that I have in the kitchen. That way it kind of kills a little bit of cooking smell that I'll have. Okay, so while that's going down here, boom, got that. I'm gonna put that in my mixing bowl. And I'm just cooking for myself. I'm not cooking for anybody else. So I just have a few pieces. Obviously, the more pieces, the more people that you have, I would actually probably use the smaller stuffed mushrooms because they go by so quick. A lot of people love that stuff there. And throw in the TVP, cheese. I'm gonna do about half for now, and then add a little bit more later as I'm mixing. Okay, nice little thing about they come in the packs there. I kind of started opening it because I was a little bit bored as I was waiting to set the camera up. Crush it in here and throw it in. I'm using the iPhone. The last cooking video, I had my cheap Samsung camera phone that I got from Metro for switching plans from my old plan to my new one. And they're like, oh, well, you get this free new phone. And the phone it's just, the camera sucks. It's terrible, it's terrible. On a real stuffed mushroom, I used to, back in the day, use 2 eggs for a stuffed mushroom. That was a few years ago. I only started being plant-based about 2.5 years ago, almost 3. So I'm just going through here. It's gonna be really messy, so you just gotta dig your hands in here. Do some kung fu moves, like those old kung fu 80s show movies where they stuff their fingers in like the hot gravel and all that stuff there. They're making their fingers like daggers and stuff like that. So anyway, that's just me playing around. About a teaspoon of the oil there. The Ritz Bits will soak it all up, so that's basically what's going on there. And just mixing it in. Boom. I don't want to use that much more oil, but it's already sticking enough. That's good consistency there. I I used to use crab meat, like king crab in my stuffed mushrooms back in the day. So it did give a little bit of extra seafood flavor. So I think I'm gonna add a little bit of that too. So I have leftover the flakes from the last time. So I'm likely to just, you know, crush it up, break it into little tiny flakes. The paper there, I made a mess, but hey, I'm a bachelor. I live all by myself. And I can clean up whenever I want to, which will be right after this video anyway. Stay clean. Just presentable. You never know who's gonna come by. You know, could be my mom. Or any of my friends that decide they want to come by. All right, cool. All right, got that stuff there. All right, so after this nice mess of stuffing's all set, I'm just gonna now take some balls of it and plop them on top. The mushroom. I'm gonna start off kind of small at first and then kind of top it off after. So I'm gonna start off, you know, a good amount like this first, and then I'll add more if there's more needed. Me being really smart about it, I cut way too thick the bottom piece because I was gonna use it part of the filling, and I didn't. So I'm gonna leave it like this here. Luckily, it's wider, so it can handle it. So just go like that. This should keep the mushroom together. Maybe. I should have turned on the temp oven, but I didn't. Oh, great. I'm mishandling everything here. I just broke my mushroom, it's kind of split in half. So I'm kind of using this to keep it together, to split, like bam. Yep, so very simple ingredients. So back then I used to make this all the time with my ex-wife, and we used to use like sausage and stuff like that, and as part of the filling, along with ground beef or ground turkey. Actually, we used to use ground turkey a lot, and then yeah, and use some snow crab as part of its filling there. And you know, the ingredient was to use the Ritz because it's already super salty, you know, those Ritz crackers. So you don't even have to add anything; it's already flavored for you. So you really don't have to do much more to it. Well, here we are. Maybe a little bit too excessive, but yeah, we used to, you know, use all kinds of stuff there. The 4 cheeses and all that stuff there, all those different cheeses. But I'm using, you know, the Daiya plant-based cheese here. So boom, nice, looks pretty nice. And I have extra, so I'm gonna fill the bigger stuff with it. Which one of these are get my extras? This one here, the first one I think. Plop it on, bam. I like to have like the little tiny button ones because they're more like snacks and all that stuff. They're good appetizers for people coming in finger food. You know, get your little toothpicks and place them all in there like it looks like nice hors d'oeuvres. Yeah, these will. I have you know, a good 7 pieces, and that's going to be my lunch maybe. I don't know. It's better when you eat it right away because it's crispy. Because once you let it sit and it freezes, you put it in the refrigerator and all that stuff there, it kind of just makes it kind of mushy and it's not really good. So it is more preferred when you eat it right away. So again, this is a very quick. Remember the TVP that I made took 10 minutes. So if you had any left over, that's 10 minutes onto your time, and as part of the preparation, you can, as you're doing one meal, you can add it to another one too. As I said the last time from the last video, I was going to make the TVP part of possibly taco salad or my tacos, but instead I decided, hey, I'm going to make stuffed mushrooms. So I had mushrooms. I didn't want the mushrooms to go bad, so I just started preparing that. So that's what I wanted to do. Oh yeah, I'm back. All right, But there it is. Oh, look at that. I can hear it sizzling. And my house is kind of cold and chilly right now, so I can just use the heat, residual heat from the oven. Woohoo! Looks so good and tasty. Let me cut a piece so you kind of see what's going on with it. Oh yeah. Oh, it's hot, it's hot. Ooh. Yep, you see there, held on pretty well. It holds on pretty well. And you basically have your own stuffed mushroom. It's kind of sticky. A little bit of cheese there. Yep. All right, good. So that's stuffed mushrooms there. So, thank you for tuning in to the Healthy Sandwich and following me on my stuffed mushrooms, the plant-based style. As always, Satu and Sokti. Thank you.